Didn't see you there. I was just sitting here thinking to myself that what the world really needs right now is more guys talking about Kiss. And here we go. Better you than me, that's all I'm saying.
All right, what's next, Jeffrey? After there we go.
There we go.
The
Okay.
best Kiss album.
Love it.
Yes. Why do you think this album gets shit on so much by the band?
Because it didn't
Or
sell.
you, Frank.
Yeah.
Or you, Frank.
I don't shit on. I love the album. It's one of my favorite Kiss albums. I've never said anything bad about The Elder.
Love it.
Pay attention, Junior.
I will. I will, son.
That's the maddest I've ever heard Frank.
Yeah, that's as bad as I get. That's it.
You don't know him in person, brother.
That's true. Good point. Good point.
No, I love The Elder. I always have.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too.
I love The Elder, but Jim's right. It didn't sell, so they look at it as a failure, you know?
Well, and
And they really went out there with that. You know what I mean? They changed
Yeah,
the image. They went back to Ezra, and they, you know.
Yeah, Gene got a haircut. Didn't have his.
Gene
They all
got a
did.
haircut.
Yeah,
He
so-
Paul got
cried
a
in the
haircut.
video.
Ace got a haircut.
I
It's
think they
kind of where I jumped back on board because
With
I
the
thought
Elder Hunter?
I thought this album was an absolute
love it.
masterpiece.
Yes.
They just
Really?
miscalculated with the headbands. That's all.
I wasn't a fan of the look, but I mean, as far as the album goes, I thought it was their most ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the musicianship was just, I think, at its peak at that moment. I mean, I thought surpassed whatever they had done.
Well, and then you find out later they had Vinny on board writing a lot of those songs with them, and they had
Shocking.
yeah, he's a good songwriter.
He's a good songwriter.
Lou Reed.
Lou Reed was involved. Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
that was
Look, to be fair, there were a lot of headbands around then.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Reno, the Go-Go's. I just saw in the movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Forgot
yeah,
about
yeah,
Mike Reno.
A lot of headbands. So, you know,
Right,
it was 82.
Right. What are you
Right.
gonna do?
But I do
Um,
remember being home and watching it on Fridays when they were on that particular episode.
That was.
I loved it.
Loved
Thank
it,
you,
yeah.
Frank. I was going to say the episode on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a really weird thing. I don't know that I had watched Fridays previous to that. And I just happened to be home and thought, I'm gonna turn this on, see what this is about. And they said, yeah, tonight's guest Kiss. And I was like, bingo.
Yeah.
Just lucked out on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Do you have a favorite on that, Jeff?
No surprise. Dark Light.
Yeah, okay.
Good. Good one.
Wow.
I love me some Brenneman.
Well, let's take a different direction. What do you say, Ronnie?
I'm going to go with Under the Rose.
Right.
Under the Rose is like an epic to me. I love that little riff.
Mhm.
I love the changes. It's ambitious. I think it works. I didn't hear this record again. I watched it on Fridays, but I did not hear this record till I got back on board. I think I said this last time. I got back on board with Creatures when I saw them on the tour.
Right.
So I went back and I really loved this record when I first heard it. But I love all the songs. But Under the Rose I think is just wonderful.
All right.
So
Jim?
Well, it's hard for me to pick one on this. I'm gonna go back and do the Jerry thing and pick three. But
Okay.
I love but I love Under the Rose. I love that dual guitar part where it switches back and
Mhm.
forth. Oh my, it was so good.
every part is great. Yeah.
So well produced. It's just so well put together. So it's kind of a toss up between those two. I like The Oath. Great tune.
Both is great. I'm going to surprise you guys. I Am Just a Boy. Just a Boy.
Wow.
Love that song.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
it's the first time you hear Paul do that falsetto business and everything. But it's a powerful song.
It is.
Absolutely.
It carries that whole record. It tells you where it's going. I really enjoyed that. I when that it ends with that. That's a
Love I. You know.
that's a when
Yeah.
Gene and Paul trading back and forth. That's always a
The bass line. I
Mhm.
don't need no money.
Yep.
I don't
It's the
need
most
no
Kiss-like.
fame. No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the most Kiss-like track for sure. Yeah. Classic Kiss, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you there with what about Escape from the Island?
Love that.
Yeah.
It was my turn. Sorry.
Great bass tone in that
Mhm.
tune. He's using it sounds to me like a Gibson bass on that,
Very trebly.
and
Love it.
just such a good sound.
It was probably all Ace doing it.
I was going to say it's probably somebody else playing bass.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah, it was
Could
an
have
Ace
been.
tune, so absolute favorite, Jerry?
Oh, absolute. I only get one?
Oh, no, you can pick the whole album, but
No, I go like this. Escape from the Island, Mr. Blackwell, I.
all right.
Hmm.
I like the vocals, the way they're recorded on Mr. Blackwell. That's pretty cool.
Do what I want. I don't give a damn.
Okay, how's it go again?
Do what I want. I don't give a damn.
Awesome.
Kind of sounds like Gene there.
Yeah.
You're not well, oh Mr. Blackwell,
We had to encourage
and
him.
I can tell.
Well, after
Jerry
that-
sings the Elder.
Yeah.
This is what I want to hear. Yeah,
Make a whole episode out of that.
I think we've stumbled upon something here.
yeah.
I doubt it.
Oh man.
Can we just? I know they didn't write it, but Odyssey is incredible. Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to say
Yes,
nobody
it
brought
is.
it up.
Yeah.
Odyssey
Yes, it
is wonderful, and I might have picked that one. So if I picked 3, that would definitely be number 2 for me.
Right.
Oh, this, yeah.
Good tune.
Yeah. And again, I didn't know it was a cover for a while.
Right.
Maybe I didn't read the credits.
I didn't either.
No, I
Yeah.
remember.
Now I
until
got to
reading the
look it
book.
up, Ronnie.
It totally
Yeah.
fits. Yeah, Tony Powers, I think, is the guy who wrote it, and there's his version is on YouTube. If you've never, you guys have never
Oh,
Oh, wow.
listened, yeah, check it out.
I'll check that out.
Will.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
the beauty of YouTube. You find out so much stuff. It's just
Yeah.
exposes the bands. Well,
You can find the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast on YouTube, folks.
hey, son of a gun.
And the Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme Podcast
Yeah.
on YouTube, folks.
True.
And you can hear
And,
tunes from the Muffs.
that's right.
Yes.
And you
Saying.
can probably see my plaster cast somewhere on there too.
Now, that's a little bit graphic, Ronnie.
I'm gonna go look it up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you look it up, Jaime, don't tell us.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah, that's a me moment. Yes.
All right.
I saw.
Right.
I guess that was too much information,
Yeah.
but
No, it's okay.
I'm not going to tell anybody.
I understand, Jim.
Yikes. Oh,
And then the cover. Let's talk about the cover for a second.
There you
love the
go.
cover.
Has anyone besides Jeff read the book, the Julian Gill?
I've got it.
Frank has. Yeah.
I recommend it to everyone. It's huge. I actually dropped it on my foot, and I have like a permanent injury.
Oh wow.
I swear, I'm not lying. I really
believe
do.
it.
But well, just like all the Julian Gill books. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really good, especially if you're in the Elder. But yeah, I was surprised to learn the cover. That's not a real door. It's just some prop company made just enough. So it's actually
Right.
like just 2 foot by 2 foot, and Paul insisted that be his hand. They were gonna have a
Right.
hand model.
I was
and
going to
Paul's
say,
like,
Ronnie, I always wanted to know whose hand that was.
yeah. Paul's like,
Honestly.
you used my hand.
Yeah, you.
How you
I've got a
doing,
very
people?
nice
This is
hand.
my right hand.
Now, I do have the Stanley the Parrot album that has Paul actually looking back with his hand
Oh.
on the Elder door. you know.
Yes, that's the
Um,
cover of the book, I believe. If I'm not
yeah, it might be
mistaken.
all the same. Exactly.
Yeah.
Heavy.
So that thing at the golf course, that's not the real prop.
No.
Just that's all I'm trying to say.
Well, what's so
Oh.
cool is you open that door and you go in, and there's actually some seats. There's a little castle type thing to sit down inside
Right.
there.
It's like
Yeah.
Wow.
Picture photo
Right.
op type stuff. It's kind of
forgot
cool.
about that. Yeah.
But I don't know if because they moved it over to the Rio now. I think it's at the Rio.
That's across the
Used to be
freeway.
golf.
What a hassle.
Yeah.
Less traffic.
You're right.
saying.
Unless you want to
Yeah.
go somewhere.
Yeah, don't go on a Sunday when the Raiders are in town, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, Raiders. That's right. I think that stadium is built, right, gentlemen?
Yeah,
I think it's built. Yep.
they're ready for football.
Football, Jeff.
What's
No,
that?
No, what? You're not a sports guy at all, are you?
What album is that on?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Well, let's move ahead then to the final pick of the night, and we're talking about Creatures of the Night.
We're not doing killers?
Do you want to talk
Ooh.
about Killers?
I only
It's a
found that. That's
compilation.
only in
Got
that's
4
only in my
songs.
Hysteria box set. I don't
Oh,
have.
there's-
I've never had Killers. Yeah.
It's got 4 songs on it.
4 Paul tunes.
Now it does.
Yeah. Partners in Crime, Down on Your Knees. I'm a Legend Tonight. And what's the other one, Jim?
Nowhere to Run.
Nowhere to Run. And all forgettable. Because I don't think I would pick. I don't think I'd pick any of them as a favorite.
I agree.
All right, let's skip it.
Your thoughts, Jeff?
It should be discussed, though, Jim. I get it. I understand.
It was released. Creatures.
Going
Thank
straight to
you,
Creatures.
Jeffrey.
All right,
Thank
that's
you.
cool.
Had
Besides
that on a cassette.
besides the solo artwork, is there a better cover than this one?
No.
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 Now, do you remember the video when it came out for "I Love It Loud"?
Yes.
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 It
Some
was
little
Oh,
teenage
yeah.
kid with
Eyeballs.
Yes.
his, yeah, oh,
all
yeah.
the
Yeah.
eyeballs. Yeah, I loved
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But excellent album cover.
Trying to find. By the way, oddly enough, the that alternate cover from the Skin years with Bruce Kulick is
Yeah.
much rarer these days than the
Yeah.
original.
For an album, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think it's like a $75 record now.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
only have that on CD. I never bought it on LP.
I remember Creatures of the Night on cassette, and it blew my mind when I bought it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you don't know the story. I was a new young lad in the Air Force serving my country. I was in about a year. Was at the PX in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Wow.
And I saw a cassette of Creatures of the Night. Now, at the time, gentlemen, I had my cassette Walkman. And I just thought I was the shit. I had Creatures of the Night on my cassette Walkman with my headphones. Oh,
Non-stop, probably.
well, no, of course you had to buy a bunch more double A's.
Yeah,
It would only go so far. But
It's
I
true.
just, gentlemen, after Elder
There's
and
Killers.
going through my situation and
Beautiful.
entering service, I this thing came out and it was mind blowing. I said that's the most Rock and Kiss album I've heard probably 5 years. This is probably 82.
Mhm.
When did it come out?
Mhm.
82, 83?
82.
Oh.
I believe.
Oh, Creatures of the Night, guys.
82 is probably late 82. Like
Mhm.
Right.
I remember
Yeah.
throwing that album on the turntable, and
Oh.
nobody was home, and I'd never heard drums so loud.
Yes.
You knew,
Just-
you knew Pete wasn't there no more.
It wasn't Pete. He was beating the hell out of those drums. Yeah.
Oh,
Them
yes.
drums owed Eric money. Right?
Heavy drums.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what made the album for me is just that.
Absolutely,
drum sound.
Frank. I would agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah.
Those fat drums. Oh.
Yep.
Hmm.
Jim, what's your thought? What's your favorite track on that album?
Oh, gosh. I like the title track.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with Creatures of the Night.
All right.
I Still Love You, I think, is a great song.
Awesome
Rockin',
song.
Rockin'est, probably the best ballad I think Kiss did.
Yeah.
Certainly the hardest ballad they ever did.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul did
Epic.
it on a solo tour, and it was amazing.
I just listened to it again today, just because I knew we were doing this tonight, and
Yeah.
it's a solid record. I think I kind of fell in love with it, but Creatures is the lead-off track. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So I remember throwing this on the turntable, and it starts out with that drum, right? And
Mm-hmm.
kicks in, and the guitar playing on it. I was like, wow, this is like next level for Kiss.
But we
There's
didn't
like
know
some
Ace was gone.
Right. I was
No.
like, man, Ace is like just
He's on
turn it
fire.
up.
Man,
This is like, man, he's like upped his game. I was like,
Yeah.
right?
crazy.
And
So
so
I
did Peter
think
Chris.
probably, So I think probably because it was that first song on the record, I think is kind of the one that
Brutal. That album's brutal.
just stuck with me.
Very good.
Saint Sinner's a great tune.
Yeah. I don't think there's a bad track on that album.
No,
No.
there isn't.
You have a favorite, Jeff?
Yeah, definitely Saint and Sinner. It's the verse part. That
Mhm.
verse is so catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the melody on that.
Deuces are wild.
Was that all Gene Simmons writing, or did someone help him out with that? Do you guys know?
Thought that was
I can check.
co-writing.
Probably
I have
Vinny
it here. I
helped him
can
on
check. We're talking about Saint and Sinner.
that. Yeah.
Don't get. Why you got to mess it up, Frank? You know,
What are you talking about?
We're talking about. Hey, that's a great song. Man. Well, did Gene write it? I know. It's
Yeah,
rocket.
you're right. Yeah.
Okay,
Jerry's right. I'm putting this up.
God bless
Yeah.
you, Ronnie. My thing is that whole album rocked. Why are you going to find a tune? And well, you know, I still love you, Frank, from high school. We're talking, you know, late
Aw.
70s.
Listen to this.
But why are you going to say, "Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe he wrote that"?
No.
was it
I want to
somebody
know if he
else?
had help writing it. It's all I asked, Jerry. I just
Oh,
want to know
come
if he
on,
wrote
Frank.
it by
Yeah,
himself or if
You
Vinny
already
wrote it.
know. You
No, I
already
don't.
know, dude.
I don't know.
It's co-written
Now,
with
look,
co-written with
he had a
Michael
little help.
Jab.
Yep. There you go.
Right.
Jim,
well
there you
done,
go.
Jaime. Well done.
I don't feel bad about it. They brought in a lot of people to write on this album.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
cool.
think
Play
Brian
and play.
Adams.
Brian
Bryan
Adams. I think
Adams.
it helped him. You know, it's funny, Ronnie, when I
Right.
remember looking at that
Love
on
Bryan
the
Adams.
album
Yeah.
and seeing
Yeah.
Brian Adams' name and thinking, like, surely this is not the same Brian Adams.
No, but
Right.
he's a tune meister.
That's a
dude
great
is-
song. Rock and Roll Hell.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Yeah.
best songs
Yeah.
on the record.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, not my turn.
No. Go
That's
ahead.
all right.
What is your favorite song?
I think Creature. I think the title track is the best song, but I'm gonna go with War Machine.
Oh,
Just
Heavy.
you know,
The
yeah.
riff.
I don't. But
Yeah.
but again, like we're saying, this record is like every song is great. So the favorite song can change from day to day.
Mhm.
Right.
Because Rock and Roll Hell is up there for me too on this. You know,
Ace,
And I
Ace
still love
redid
you, but-
that on his on Origins, didn't he?
don't bring up Origins. Ugh.
One or two, Ronnie.
One.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe there's a second one. It's just so. I'm not a fan of cover. I'm not so crazy about covers. So it's just like, and then enough with the space stuff. You know, space truck. We get it. You're the space man.
I'm from Vendel. I'm in the
They're,
space
they're
man.
picking tracks just
space.
by the space content. You know,
He's got to reiterate.
it's so lame. But getting
You know-
back to Creatures, I just want to. I might have said the story on the other one, but again, I left off before Dynasty. So what happened was the Creatures tour came to town, and you know, back then we just go to concerts. It was $10. You just go, right?
Mhm.
And I
Grab
said to
a
my
shirt.
friend, I go, let's go see Kiss. You know, they were playing the old arena, you know, the one that held 8,000 seats, and sat down and they opened Creatures. I hadn't heard Creatures of the Night, and I was just like floored with the material.
Yeah.
I Still Love You, all the new stuff they played, War Machine, and I brought Creatures the next day and bought Elder probably the day after that, and it got me back on board with Kiss, and I never have been off board again. But
Righteous.
you know, but the Skin years, you know, that's a different subject. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I mean, I think we all held on probably through Animalize and maybe a little bit of Asylum.
Longer than I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, look, can we just agree that Revenge is overrated? Revenge is highly overrated.
It's a decent album, but it is just it doesn't hold up at all.
The
you
way
know?
it's talked about, just like
Yeah.
Return to, you know, I don't know.
I like that other one. The what's that last album they did?
Animalize.
Carnival of
Or no,
Souls.
Carnival of Souls.
Their
Oh,
grunge
right.
album.
Yeah.
That's right. That's about 96.
I like
That's
their
right.
grunge album
That's
better
right.
than
Yeah.
Right. I
It's a
forgot
good
about
album.
that.
Not really what you think of when you think of a Kiss album.
No.
I haven't heard it since '96, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't comment. But
What about
now we're getting
Revenge?
all over the place. I know. Creatures of the Night. We can all agree. Epic. Great
Yes.
record.
Love that album cover.
Yep. The
That's
cover is
glow in the dark?
fantastic.
Jeff?
There's like 3 different ones. Oh, look at that. Now he's got the one with Vinny.
There-
Oh,
there's
that's Vinny.
It's a
Nice.
variant.
Oh,
Jeffrey, go cat,
wow.
Mhm.
go cat, go.
I didn't
I
know
bow
about that
down
one.
to you, sir.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir. Mr. Jeffrey Brenneman with the freaking Vinny Vincent Unk Warrior.
What's that say? Glow in the dark vinyl? I'm just guessing.
No, limited edition.
Oh,
There you
limited
go.
edition. There
Colored
we go.
vinyl.
Well
Everything's
done.
a limited edition.
Yes,
Everything.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
Good point. There's a
Well
limit
done.
on everything.
Everything's a limited. Yeah, everything.
I love it. Mine's purple. You got the green one, Jeff?
Yeah.
Brazil.
we're,
Yeah.
we're talking about the album cover, right, Frank?
Right.
Okay.
I hope so.
What album cover?
Shut up.
What
There's
album
no
cover?
plaster here. There's no. Wow.
My gosh,
snorted.
Jeffrey has it all. I
Yes.
thought that was me, Ronnie. I did the same thing, Ronnie. I thought that was me.
That's when you.
I
Yeah,
thought that was me.
it was me. I snorted.
All right. Well, as far as the makeup era, that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think Creatures is a good place to stop on the makeup. When they took it off, Lick It Up, I bought it because it was a new era of Kiss, and I jumped off board as fast as I got on. I was done with them. Yeah, they sound like every other band that was out there at that time. So
Not yet, because I think
Yeah,
Lick
I
It
don't
Up
think
is still
so
good.
either.
oh, I
Yeah.
did.
No, because it was a little.
Everybody was
Yeah.
speed guitar is all it was. Because they let
I-
Vinny
I
have
like-
those solos.
I like speed guitar.
They started every song with a solo. It played. Yeah, but everybody was doing it. You know, the music I was listening to. You know, so I was like, I'll pass.
You know me. I only like Paul Stanley songs anyway.
Yeah. Well, I remember back even when that album came out, Jim and I had a conversation about that, and I liked all the Gene songs. He liked all the Paul songs.
All the Paul Stanley songs.
Right.
And then I went back years later and bought the other Asylum and Animalize and Hot in the Shade and whatever other crap they put out in.
I think that's it. Revenge.
Yeah.
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 Which one has the song about putting the log in your fireplace?
That might be.
That's
Animalize?
Yeah, it might
Or
be
Lick It Up?
Animalize.
No. That's Look It Up.
It is Look It Up. Yeah,
Is it?
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they turned into Spinal Tap. You know, it's ridiculous.
Like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Pass.
Which is that's why I preferred the Paul songs, because Gene was putting out stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Christine 16 should have. Well, I never caught that back then. I just love the piano and the guitar.
It's got more bling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Piano
did.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yep.
Yep.
Well, let's.
I think
Trent-
Jefferson Starship used that same piano and Find Your Way Back. Like
Probably. There's only-
But
There's
that
only-
Yep.
piano's been used in a million songs, actually.
Yes, it has.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The studio version of I Want You to Want Me. It's got a little
Mhm.
piano like that in it.
Right.
As far as the
Yes.
solo, yeah, that's got the little tap
That's right.
piano
Right.
solo. Yeah.
It does. Little ragtime. A little. No.
Yep. Hey, let's talk about David Lee Roth.
Let's.
We've been talking about. You about done? We've been talking about this for
That's all there was.
how many months? Now, is it the last time you were on? Every time.
What
the
show
three of us
was that,
talk-
Frank? Yeah.
God, I don't know, but every time we get together, we got to hear that David Lee Roth story. He
We got to
says
hear that David Lee Roth story. If nothing else, we just have to have him on for the David Lee Roth story.
It is
And I think-
intriguing.
And
Yeah.
I think Brenneman's hip too.
Out of court settlement with David
you
Lee
know.
Roth. Okay.
You already know. I know you know. You
All
told
right.
me you know.
Well, if people made it this far, they're probably not lawyers.
Well said. Yeah.
So there's a social media outlet called Instagram. You guys might have heard of it.
Mhm.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kids love Instagram. Kids are not on Facebook. They're on Instagram. And
Right.
anyway, so my Instagram name for like 8 years was David Lee Roth. Okay.
Oh, nice.
The words David Lee Roth, you got to pick a name on there.
Right.
and then it has your name underneath. So it said David Lee Roth, Ronnie Barnett. I wasn't trying to impersonate the man,
Right.
you know. Again, 8 years I had that name. So one day I got a letter from the lawyers representing the famous, and I'll quote now, singer, author, actor, David Lee Roth. Artist. David Lee Roth.
All right.
Basically saying our client can't do business under this name, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what do you want for the name? Okay.
Right.
So my first inclination is like, look, I'll give my idol his name, right? But maybe we meet, we sign the paperwork, we take a picture together,
Right.
we start our respective Instagrams anew.
Something cool.
I'll give him his name. You know what I mean? Like, I've had it a long time, but basically they came back and I'll try to be nice about this. We're a little firm and basically saying, look, we don't have to give you any, you know.
Right.
Basically they got a little tough about it. Okay,
As
so
lawyers do. Yep.
so I hired a lawyer. I had a lawyer, and basically he's like, what do you want for it? This is where I'll get we arrived on an amount. He doubled the amount I came up with, and
Wow.
basically they agreed, and I settled out of court and got paid money for the name. So
$1 million.
I have a contract with, and I signed it first, right? So I signed it all normal. So when I got a copy, David Lee Roth signed it like David Lee Roth. You know what I mean? Like,
He's all the way up in there.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah, I want to say there's a star involved. Yeah, like, you know. So I need to like blow that up, frame it, and so just to finish up here. So that happened, and that all happened real quick. So, and basically, it took a few months. I didn't start a new account right away, but it took a few months for him to start an account. Okay, and finally he did. And just to be honest, it wasn't him posting on this, right? It's like business people, because his first thing was like a studio show. You know, I'm in the Mojo Dojo. You know, and it's like a professional shot. And I just want to say, you can go back to his early posting, especially this first posting. The majority of the comments are, "Where's Ronnie? Who is this? You're not Ronnie." For a brief moment in time, I was more popular than David Lee Roth.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
I love it.
And I got to admit, I got a little emotional when he posted for the first time, and I saw that name, and it wasn't me, and I'd had it for so long. But me and David. So if I ever run into him again, because I have that's another David Lee Roth story I have.
New show,
I will bring
Frank.
it up. Yeah. So, yeah. The other story is basically I worked at a store called Penny Lane in Pasadena. This is around.
John Lennon didn't sue you, did he?
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. I didn't start that store, and that was a horrible place to work. That's a different show altogether. But
they're in an industrial space now.
They are.
Oh no, they moved downtown.
They're Upland.
Downtown Upland.
Yeah, but they're in Claremont or Upland or whatever it is. Basically, that was the last store that was open. Though Penny Lane at its height was like 7 stores. Like they had a corporate office and stuff.
Wow.
How the business has changed. Anyway, at that point, the owner was like working in the back. And anyway, so I was in there by myself up front on a Sunday, and this guy comes in with a baseball hat, sunglasses, not very tall. And it's like, you have that new Stone. There was some new Stones box. This is 10 years ago. And I'm like, we didn't order. It's like $150. Anything anybody asked for. He's like, where's the section? I walk him over. I show him. He shops for 10 minutes. Comes to the counter. Okay, he's got some Stones. He had that Rewind compilation, right? Some Stevie Wonder CDs. So I'm ringing him up, and he puts down his credit card, and he puts down his ID. I look at the ID, and it says David Lee Roth on it. I did not recognize him, okay? He had facial hair. Again, he didn't come in, hey, where's the red? You got that box set. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he wasn't as tall as I imagined, because David Lee Roth, to me, is larger than life.
Like
20 feet tall. Yeah, he's 20 feet
to
tall.
quote Kiss. Yeah, exactly. So basically, I'm looking at his ID. I'm like, oh, my God, it's David Lee. What do I? So basically, I give it back to him, and I'm like, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. I love you.
Yeah.
And I reached out my arms and for a hug, and he hugged me.
All right.
And
Oh, nice.
at that point, they had done the first reunion tour with him, hadn't made the record yet, right? So we talked
Right.
about that, and I talked about how it was one of the best nights of my life. It truly was. I remember
Mhm.
I told him how I high-fived the usher walking out of there, and you know, he's very nice to me, and I'm like, can I get a picture? And he's like, sure. And I do the thing where you hold up the camera, you know, you do it selfie style.
The
And
selfie, yeah.
and it came out okay. He's like, how'd it come out? I'm like, it's okay. He's like, no, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
Ah,
And
cool.
there's one customer in the store. I asked him to take the picture, and he did. And I'll send you guys the photos
Oh, yeah,
after
love
this.
to see
You
it.
have
nice.
to, Ronnie. You have to.
But yeah. And so he, you know, he's like, let's get it right. And we got it right. And he was very nice to me. And
Cool.
It's cool that he
Yeah.
took time.
little knowing that I would have this kind of legal thing with him a
Right.
few years later.
Hey, it's me, Ronnie from Instagram.
Again, I'm not
Take a
blaming him.
selfie
It was
with
his
me.
people. It was his business people, all that. And
Sure.
Daily Roth's still a monster to me. And he was great
That's
opening
heavy.
for Kiss. The last
I
show
love
I
that.
saw
Oh, yeah.
before the pandemic at, you know,
That's
up in
right.
Oracle Arena. I saw Kiss, and it's almost poetic. I hope nothing happens to me. You know, like his last show was Kiss and David Lee Roth. You know, like,
Oh,
it's,
Lord.
Yeah.
but
You know,
anyway, that's the story. Yeah.
I'd hate to feel
Nice.
that way because the last show I saw of Kiss, they had that painter. So I got gypped as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah.
Love to have had David Lee Roth opening
Oh,
up.
tell me about it. Yeah.
No, he was great. And David Lee Roth got a lot of people were down on him for that first show he did in Vegas that went
Right.
viral. But I got to say, he sounded a lot. And look, David Lee Roth is not, we all know he's not the best singer in the world.
He's an
Never
entertainer.
was. Yeah.
Oh,
But
He's a
he
front man.
sounded a lot better. He sounded a lot better than that first show at the show
Yeah.
I saw. And he slammed through the songs. He didn't talk at all besides
Right.
the talking in the song parts, you know.
right.
They were like the Ramones. Like, there were no stops. Like, so
Oh,
he brought
Way
it.
should be.
Yeah.
Way it
So,
should be.
and I gotta say, I've not seen Kiss in the year, just whatever. I just never went and saw them with this lineup in the last 18 years or whatever. But they were great. Kiss was great, and I gotta
Sure.
say, there's no way Ace and Peter could pull it off. They
No.
could not pull off that 2-hour show
No.
at this point. Sorry,
Oh, we were
maybe
talking about
Ace
this
No,
good.
earlier.
that's good. Oh, no, it's all good.
but
No.
but the new, you know, Tommy and Eric, they were great. It was a great show. I was entertained,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. And
Yeah.
they're clearly having a good time and loved it.
Well, we've
So-
hit on this before. Tommy and Eric are truly better musicians. They're just in
Yep.
the wrong makeup. That's all. That's
Yeah,
the whole
I get
beef.
it. Yeah,
That's it.
no, I get it.
Yeah.
You know. Real quickly, Jeff, off the top of your head, I know you're not into the metal scene, but we got to bring up Martin Birch passed away, and he's
Brundle.
producer
Birch.
of
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, Rainbow, Deep Purple.
Black
Jim was saying
Sabbath.
Fleetwood Mac. Did you say?
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was an old,
Um,
yeah. Old man. Yeah.
But today I posted L.A. Connection by Rainbow off their I Love Long Live Rock and Roll album.
Best album cover.
Rainbow Connection. I love that
Yeah,
song.
that's
Paul
a great one.
Williams.
Yes.
Sorry.
But Martin Birch, he's one of those guys where you don't know his face, but then when you read all of the bands that he's associated with, it's just unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I'm a big fan of people like producers, record executives.
Mhm.
Like I'm a big fan of the business, so I geek out on all that stuff. And yeah, you know, growing up like you guys, you'd see the same names like produce.
Right.
Oh, Martin Birch.
Right.
I've seen his name. I
RTV,
mean, that was
to me.
often how we
RTV,
picked
Michael
up
Chapman,
records. Like,
Yeah.
you know, oh, I recognize names on this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy this record. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
but yeah, Iron Maiden I think is his signature thing to me. Even though not to discount Rainbow and
right.
Deep Purple, but
Yeah.
you know,
He-
Iron
he-
Maiden.
He definitely made his mark with Iron Maiden. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I want to hear. I know Jerry can't stand it when bands redo old songs and everything.
I don't want to hear your effing demo.
Yeah. No, I want to hear the
When-
first two
when
albums.
When
Hold
it
on.
was 10 years before you even got in a band.
Oh, Jesus
Sorry,
Christ.
Frank. Go ahead. I do this all the time.
Every
When you
time.
talk
My
re-record,
God.
mm,
You know,
mm.
I'm gonna start a drinking game, and every time you fucking interrupt me, I'm gonna take a shot. But what I
well,
want to do,
you're not going to make it far, bro.
no, I want to hear the first two albums recorded with Bruce Dickinson. What do you guys think?
Re-recorded or
Yes.
New Maiden?
No,
Oh.
re-recorded
No.
the first two albums.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
No.
Nope.
The reason I
Nope.
say that is I have the Ed Hunter compilation CD,
Yeah, and I
And-
got the Merv Griffin
and he
revisit.
does one of their older songs off the first album. And it,
Don't tell me it's better, Frank. Don't do it.
I'm not saying it's better, but it took me halfway through the song to figure out what was different about the tune. And I forget which one it was now, but it was last
Different
week when I
singer?
was listening to it. But it's
Yeah. Look, we've heard the main song sung by Bruce Dickinson for years and years and years, right?
And
We've
it's
heard
the way
him
it
sing
should be.
Wrathchild. We heard him
Yeah.
sing Iron Maiden. That's the thing. Paul Di'Anno's a perfect singer for the
Yeah.
band's first two albums
Yes.
because
Yeah,
they're
Agree.
oh, I
they
love
were
him.
different.
Love
They
him.
were they were a little different then. You know what
Still
I mean?
punky,
So
yeah.
yeah. So I'm with Jerry on this. Like, you know, Bruce sings those songs live, and that's enough. That's enough for me.
That's it.
Good enough for you. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah.
I would like to hear that myself. I mean, I came in on Number of the Beast. That's when I first started listening to
Same
Maiden.
here, Jeffrey.
Same here.
And then I went back, but I'd be interested to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Not now. Not the band 40 years, literally later. You know what I mean? And it'll be
Yeah.
all like
well,
pro tooled out,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
stuff. And,
probably so.
you know what I
It's just-
mean? Like,
Right.
Jeffrey's just giving it the white glove test,
yeah,
Ah,
nice, nicely done.
Yes.
and I dig it.
Bravo.
Well, look,
Yeah.
Frank, we don't have to worry
Touche.
about this, right? Are they talking about doing this?
No.
They
Yeah,
can't
That
be,
was just
Ronnie. They
it
can't
was,
be.
it was
then
just me
you-
spitballing. And
You want to hear You want to hear him do the Blaze Bailey records too?
No. That was a dark time in my life. No.
Oh,
And theirs. I remember we were like playing the same clubs. It was freaking
That's
me
sad.
out during that
Yeah.
era. I remember they
oh.
they did the off ramp in Seattle. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
Iron Maiden in the clubs. I don't know.
Oh, poor
Different
Blaze.
episode.
Yes.
But yeah,
Ah.
Martin Birch, rest in peace. And yeah, the thing about producers like that, they're not people that get recognized, and they're
No.
so important. And
Yeah, good point.
You know,
No, they don't. No, they
same
don't.
with like
No.
Bob. People aren't going to recognize Bob Ezrin besides maybe us too. Like, and they're very important to record making. You know,
Absolutely. Yes.
so
Well, they were important. I don't know about anymore. Is anybody really making records nowadays, or is it all
yeah.
at home in their basement? You know, is there
Good point, Frank. Good
Is-
Excellent
point.
point.
Because
Very good point.
I saw
Yeah.
not long ago
Technology and
I saw not long ago, Ronnie, you were doing
Sorry.
some tracks
Yeah.
for somebody. I don't know. You
Yeah.
posted you were going to go.
Oh, I did the other day. Yeah.
Okay, was that at a studio or was that at somebody's house?
No, it's at somebody's house, but again, that guy works. He does music for DreamWorks, so
Mhm.
oh,
he's got a pro setup. But everyone can have a pro setup. I mean,
Right.
these days,
Yeah, yeah.
sure. Yep.
I did a track for you guys know this band, the Wild Hearts?
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah. So they've been around, but yeah, they're not a household word over here.
Right.
But yeah, it's either for one of Ginger's solo projects or for that. But yeah, no, it's at somebody's house, and it's easy to,
Yeah.
I feel like an old timer now. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but the
No, we all are running. Go
early
with it.
'90s. I mean, they're
Yeah.
still cutting tape. I mean, I remember
Right.
seeing our engineer with a razor blade and freaking
Mhm.
out.
Splicing.
Like, what are you doing? It'd be a perfect cut, and we spent
Spliced
150
together.
grand on our second record. Our third record, we spent 200 grand, and that's basically studio. Renting out studio
Right.
time.
Right.
Like it wasn't because we got paid a lot or we had a big producer, because we didn't. So, but that said, I got these great stories of recording next to Eric Clapton and stuff. You know what I
it's
mean? Like,
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I remember taking a piss next to him. You can't take that away from me. All right.
Remember that, Frank?
Nor
We got
do we
future
want
shows
to.
lined up.
Yes.
Oh yeah, White Glove Test, the Muffs.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I do have one
Hell yeah.
question, and you may or may not want to answer it, Ron. Where's the love with Chris Crass? Because I'm not hip to the early history of the band. I mean, I know he was there for that first album.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, look, I don't hate Chris Crass. In fact, we were friends for a while, and about 10 years ago, he just didn't come to our shows anymore in Seattle. We actually had him up to do songs with the 3-piece, not just singing, for an encore. Basically, the Chris Crass story is when we formed the Muffs, we asked Roy to be our drummer originally. And at the time, he had just had a baby and things were a little chaotic. And as he puts it, the idea of joining this band of two former Pandoras who were playing new instruments with one of their boyfriends on bass was not the most promising thing at the time. I've said this before, that the ex-Pandora thing did us no favors in the beginning because the metal lineup had alienated their whole audience. And they were playing to 10 people at the Coconut Teaser, basically Roy was working with Chris at a warehouse on Sunset, Warehouse Records, the one that was across the 101 from and he recommended Chris. We met Chris. Chris was one of those guys, and I don't want to generalize drummers, but he's one of those guys with a real infectious kind of personality when he's nice. There were some maybe substances he did that made you a little uppity, if you know what I'm saying, where he was not so nice. And Chris was a little older than us. And look, Chris was a big part of the formation of my band. He sang backups. He's a great drummer. I've said this before too. The whole time Chris was in the band, he was almost out of the band because of this chaotic personality, right? So we made that. We got signed. We made that record, and we did one tour. As soon as our first record came out, we went on tour, opening for the Goo Goo Dolls, first nationwide tour, and they're still a rock band at the time. Yeah. I remember their manager asked that I stop spitting on stage because the guys played barefoot, and I did not stop. But anyway,
good for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Chris lasted that tour, and we had a kind of a co-headlining tour with this band, The Digits. If you remember that band, they were on Touch and Go. Great rock band. Great rock band. Yeah. So we had that tour coming up, and Chris was on one of his volatile things about something, got in a fight with Kim and said, "Fuck you guys, I quit." And basically we didn't work it. We didn't choose to work it out this time. We it's amazing now to think of, but
but rightfully so.
Yeah. But we had a tour in 10 days. So it's weird to think of now, but we met, one of my best friends to this day, Jim Laspiza. We got turned on to him by Kim's boyfriend after me, was our engineer, Brian Key, who introduced us to Jim. Jim could do it. That's the thing, like all the pieces to work. This guy could go on tour in 10 days. He was a great drummer. He sang backups. We went on tour with Jim, and that was it for Chris. And, we never looked back. So we had enough at that point. And we got another drummer. And so like I said, like maybe things were a little, I don't remember running into Chris around town. He moved to Seattle, his hometown, back to Seattle within a year, got married, moved back to Seattle. And, again, like I said, we were friendly when we come through town. We weren't best friends or anything, but, I don't know. It just, we're not really friends now. Nope. He's still friends with Melanie. But as far as me and Kim, we didn't see him for the last 10 years or so. So don't hate him or anything, but that's the story of him and the band. Like,
very good.
Love it.
In retrospect, it was never going to work out for the long haul. He was just different than us. He would talk a lot on stage. He would talk over us. He would do things like take his shirt off when he played. He'd make a big production of putting a tampon in his mouth before starting a song. Just things that would make us cringe. Things that just that were
Yeah,
not.
that makes me cringe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't get
things that
that
were
one.
not like us. So
Very punk rock.
Punkish.
well, yeah, he would,
Tampon in the mouth, honey, is punk.
yeah, he would, my girlfriend's on her period today.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that kind of, and we would just cringe,
Looking
and it
for
was not
attention.
our thing. You know,
Right,
Too bad.
which probably works when you came from that little bit of generation older and you came from a hardcore punk kind of background.
Yeah,
It doesn't work when you're on a major label and trying to get an audience.
it wasn't that. He would brag about being in 40 bands, and we figured out why it was nothing
Right.
to brag about.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Like,
You
Like
told
us.
him, thank you. It's 41 now, bro.
yeah, exactly, exactly, Jerry. Like Sleep. He played with this. There's this old rockabilly guy, Sleepy LaBeef, that he played with, and Sleepy LaBeef abandoned him on the road. So that tells you.
Oh, yeah. If
That tells
Sleepy
you everything
LaBeef,
right there.
yeah.
Enough.
If Sleepy LaBeef's gonna leave you on the road, bro,
Yeah.
you better
Yeah,
check
issues.
your. Yeah.
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 So
Sleepy
know.
LaBeef.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
he
I don't
holds
think
the,
it's his real name.
I'm thinking not, Ronnie. Possibly.
He holds the distinction for being the only person other than Kim singing lead on the record, doesn't he?
Ronnie did a Stupid Jerk, right?
I
You
did.
the-
Yeah,
You did,
yeah.
okay.
And that little dumb instrumental, that's my song too. Basically, we recorded everything we knew for that first record, and it all made the record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
I
So-
think most bands going in to do their first record kind of end up like
Well,
that.
we
As
could
it
we
should
could
be.
lose a few songs. I mean, look, to Warner Brothers' credit, they let us do what we wanted to do. You know, they
That's awesome.
they did not. You know,
Unusual.
it's
love
I mean,
it.
it's not the story of a lot of bands, but we lucked out with we had a great run on the major label, and none of those horror stories. You know, and our records had never, our Warner records never went out of print. So
Yeah, that's great.
I'm proud of that. Proud of our whole career, but I'm proud of our major label run. We had a good run on that label.
Proud of you too, Ronnie. Proud of you
No,
too.
and I'd go there and run into
Yeah.
like Sandy Pearlman and George Harrison, and you know, like, you know what I mean? Cheap
Yeah.
Trick. We were label mates with them. You know, when they were
Right.
on Warner. You know, I
Sweet.
again, this is a whole other episode, but I could.
Let's
talk
keep
about-
doing it, Frank.
Yeah,
Frank,
sounds
a lot
good to
of-
me.
Yeah.
I got a lot of war stories.
Jim.
So
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do all this. And Jeffrey too.
Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
do this again.
Well,
Jeff's probably sick of me at this point, but
I don't think so.
No way.
I don't think so.
Well,
got a man
may I
crush.
just throw this in? May I just throw this in at the end of this cosmic muffin?
Yeah.
I cannot stop watching Sad Tomorrow video
oh,
or Rain at Amoeba with the Bangles singing backup.
oh,
Right.
yeah, that's not it. But that's
those two.
Yeah.
I'm doing it over and over and over. And it's-
that's at the Wilshire Ebell Theater, not Amoeba. That Rain. But,
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
and
but
you know the thing about that, like that's one of the Wild Honey shows where you guys probably know every year it's
Yeah.
I
devoted
just
to a
love
certain
it. I just love it.
No, the
It's-
Bangles they weren't gonna sing. We didn't know they were gonna sing backup till that night.
That's
Like
cool.
they agreed to do it, and then Kim went out in the hallway, the stairwell, and like they worked out those harmonies. And you know, of course, the
It's
Bangles.
beautiful.
The Bangles singing on anything is gonna make you
It's gonna
sound.
make it sound great, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
like
allow me to more compliment you, Ronnie. The bass on Rain is
Mhm.
beautiful.
thank you, Jerry,
beautiful.
because
High on
that's
the neck, yeah.
I'm just saying.
I never
You
played
did
that
it.
high on the neck, and I did. I pulled it off.
I
Thank
was
you.
watching.
know. I freak out on that kind of stuff because I always,
No.
say yes or whatever, and then it's like, oh God, I
It's
got to figure
beautiful.
out how to do this.
Now I got to go do it.
yeah, exactly. And that's such an iconic bass part. Yeah,
Yes, it
no,
is.
thank you. That's a proud moment for a lot of reasons. So.
I've done
Awesome.
I've done a few things where people have asked me to go do cover songs, and I'll be like, oh, what song do you want to do, right? And they'll be like this, and I'll be like, oh, sure, I can learn that. And then when you're sitting there learning it, like, why did I agree to?
No, exactly,
right.
exactly. That
You want
happens
to,
a lot on these Wild Honey shows. Yeah, sorry.
You want to see some gold, go back to YouTube and check some of that Amoeba show out. And you'll get some cameo of our very own Jeff. Every once in a while, cameras,
Uh-oh.
oh, just lost Ronnie. But every once in a while, the camera would pan around. There he is. and there's Jeff. Over
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
losing
corner
my
taking pictures,
headphones too.
or you take a video.
Yeah.
No, sorry. A phone call came through. I'm on an iPad, so that's why I got interrupted. Sorry about that.
Can we call him? Can we call him our Jeff?
Our Jeff. I do.
Hey Jeff, do I tell the Paul McCartney candle story in that video you shot?
Yes.
We did Amoeba 3 times, so it's hard for me to. Okay, I'll tell you guys that one next one. I like to give you something to hang on.
We got
good.
shows
Yes.
lined up, Frank. We got shows lined up.
I
I got to tell you about the Paul
month.
McCartney. Yeah, the Paul McCartney shit candle story.
Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right.
Hey Jeff, before we say goodbye, do you got anything you want to add to the sign off?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for including me in this. Talking about Kiss with 4 of my favorite guys. I mean, what better way to spend an evening?
Thank
you for having me on.
Thank
we
you.
had a
Love you
blast.
very
for
much,
joining
Jeffrey.
us.
All
Yes.
right.
I'm back at you guys.
Fantastic.
I know. I got to say, Jeff is one of the purest souls that I know. Like, he's a genuinely nice guy. Like, I'm not just saying that because he's here. Jeff
Right.
is like the sweetest
is.
guy I know. Yeah, yeah.
You can
He
you
is.
can tell.
If he's got
Yeah.
a mean bone in his body, I've not seen it. So
Yeah.
I
Nobody's seen it.
always feel bad because I talk a lot of shit, and sometimes Jeff has to hear me do it, and I feel bad, like I'm corrupting that sweet soul, you know.
No,
I
Jeffrey's
thought
a
you were-
godsend to us, Ronnie. I know that
Yeah.
for a fact. Jeffrey's a godsend to Jim, Frank, and I.
Yeah.
If I may speak for Jim and Frank, but Jeffrey's a godsend. Yeah.
You're awesome.
Not usually, but in this case,
There
yes.
she is.
Irma.
There
Yes.
Irma.
There she
Just
is.
sweetheart.
Calico.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, Jerry, do you have anything?
Folks, just keep on rocking. Yeah. Keep rocking.
Cool.
And thank you, gentlemen, for joining our show.
Thank
The
you.
shop talk was rock, folks.
Right.
Absolutely.
This was productive. Here we
Thanks
go.
Is that your headband?
Yeah.
You going to
Nice.
Russia?
Go hit a bucket of balls after this. So.
If you can find them.
Yeah. It's a little chilly out there.
Yes, it is.
Not for long.
Well, Jim,
Weekend's going to be pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I'll be honest. Since that David Lee Roth story, I was just sitting here wondering if it's too late to maybe get Taylor Swift as an Instagram.
You know what I'm
You
gonna
might
you know what
try
I'm gonna do, Jaime? As soon
Oh,
as
right.
we quit this, I'm gonna look up David Lee Roth on Instagram.
Yeah, look it
I'm
up.
gonna
Go
look it
all
up.
the way to the back. There was one guy that kept it up for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, too bad David Lee Roth wasn't doing the account. He didn't notice.
that's something.
No.
Sure. He's got
But if he
assistants for that, for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
If he had kept it up, he'd be on Plaster Caster, Chicky Baby, right?
That's right. That's right.
Maybe.
Nobody asked him to be. She didn't ask him to be plaster cast.
I'm telling you.
Yep.
Well, Ronnie, we greatly appreciate you coming on tonight. Jeff, as always, it's great talking with you.
Thank
And,
you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Ronnie, very
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Thanks for having me. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank
Love you guys. Love
Jim,
you
why don't
guys
you-
so much.
Take us
Yeah.
on home.
Love
Jim.
y'all too. Let's talk about Kiss every night.
You can do that.
We could.
Yep. I know. All right, y'all.
All right, now, Jim.
Shop's closed.
All right.
Wait, what's in Jim's refrigerator?
Oh, we'll find
Oh.
out next week.
We'll find out next time.
All right. Okay.
It's gonna be a good one though.
Okay.
No fridge.
Okay.
No fridge.
God,
Keep
I'm gonna have to
rocking, folks.
watch it then.